Hi, we're about to start, everyone, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my lovelies. So I'm Lizzie. This is Love from Lizi channel, and today we're going live with our brand new scrap kit. We've already got some people here to say hello to. So hello Nedra and Ellen and Jana. Yeah, we're a little bit late today, sorry about that. It's been a little bit of it's been a very different week for us here. We usually start shipping on the 1st, but today is Canada Day here, so it's a bank holiday. So everybody's off doing these lovely things, and there's so many great things going on. And we are here doing a live, and we will be getting everything ready because we are shipping this week. Our Be Happy kits will be on their way, along with all the extras that you've ordered. And also, we have the Full of Woe, which we've now released. Last week I was being a little bit sketchy and sharing the little one of the pieces of ephemera, but we've launched that now, and we've only got about 10% of it left, I think. So I'm pretty sure that one's going to sell out in the next few days. So I really hope that if you wanted it, you've got it. We sent out an email last night outlining just some of the details. So you should have that in your inbox just to give you an idea of what to expect, because this is our first virtual class. I've done quite a few in person in various locations, but this is the first one that I'm doing online. So we've got it as organised as we can, but we're trying to keep a little bit of mystery and excitement about it as well. So any questions, do let us know, pop us an inbox message. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about that one. We've got our layout challenge. I did last week. I made this card with some of the sparkly mesh from the Be Happy kit, which is the one that we're about to ship. And I made this one previously, just to show. It's very, very shiny. It's very bright here today. But I made this one when we launched, and that's using the stamp from the kit, the ephemera, some of the papers as well. So the layout blog is up, and you can enter from right now up until the 18th. So you've still got another, good 2.5 weeks if you wanted to make a card. You don't have to use the Be Happy or Love from Lizzie by any stretch. You can use whatever you have. It's just to get us making. That's the purpose of this. Anyhow, you're here to see me make with the Be Happy. Now, I have never scrapbooked before. I have attended a couple of scrapbooking events. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Liam. So in this kit, you're going to get 2 12 by 12 printed pages, which are sort of like the layout backgrounds. There are 6 pieces of 4 by 6 card. Now, obviously, this is a scrap kit, but make it yours. Do as you please. If 4 by 6 pictures are not your jam, switch them up, and you can use that cardstock for something else. Then, as you can see, we have the borders to go across the page, and you can chop some of those to make those pennants at the top corner. We've got some little peel-offs and some ephemera pieces to decorate around. So, and the black pinstripes, I mean, they go on everything. They are like one of the most universal. And then we have some journaling strips. If your handwriting is up to it, then they're the bits that you can use to detail what the day is about that you're scrapping, or I don't know, maybe put some ticket stubs on them if you've been somewhere. I don't know. I'm very new to scrapbooking. This is day one. So I've been on a couple of scrapbook retreats, like day retreats, I suppose is the way, and watching these ladies work, it is so impressive. So I thought, you know what, I want to try. So this is what we're trying. So it all comes in a Ziploc bag to keep it protected. And this is how it all comes to you. So it's all bundled up, and there is like a cheat sheet on the back. So this will show you what I envisaged when I put together these products. And so everything here can be put together like this. Again, doesn't have to be. It's entirely up to you. But it includes what's in there, and yeah, what you're going to need. And to be honest, you don't need very much at all. But what I did do, very last minute, I'm going to be completely honest, is I printed off some pictures this was from Liam's mum's wedding. So I've just printed off 6 photographs. I didn't spend a very long time picking the photographs. They're really lovely pictures from a really lovely day. So they're the sort of thing that I would imagine that you would want to scrap. But from what I understand from the ladies that I've spoken to, people pick their papers following their photographs. So I've done this in a way that is perhaps a little bit round the other way, but I think that this is really pretty. Anyhow, your instructions are going to run through everything with you, but as I say, you're going to get these printouts. You're going to need a trimmer or a very, very steady hand with a pair of scissors. You've got your little ephemera pieces, the cardstock, which you could equally use to make your photographs stronger, or if you wanted to trim your photographs down to give them a little white border around the edge, so be it, or use the card elsewhere. This is, once you've got it, it's yours to do with as you please. So, right, let's start. I'm going to start with I'm going to do one page at a time. I don't know how everybody else does it, but I will start with this page. And I'm starting with this page because it's got the solid borders at the back. And to identify these, it does explain it here, but on the pages there is honeycomb printed in different spots. So if we move these out of the way, this one has got honeycomb in the top corner going off the edge. So top corner, honeycomb going off the edge. I'll just pull you into the close-up to show you that. So there's the honeycomb going off the edge, and there is no other corner anywhere else within this kit that has the honeycomb going off. So it was intentional. So this top corner is easily identified as this top corner. So you know you've got that the right way up. I'm going to just put that there. And then this one, there is only 2 pieces of honeycomb because there is so much going on the rest of the page. So I've just, that piece is there, that piece is there. So we have our page the right way up. Okay. Next, we're going to take one of our border pieces. I'm going to get my guillotine for this. Now, if you want to, you could just stick that as is. Or this way up, or the other way up. Leaving the white in there so that you've got some ready-made separators, but I am going to chop them out. I mean, you could even colour over them if you wanted to, if you have alcohol markers and a particularly steady hand. So I am just going to chop these edges off, looking by eye down the blade of the trimmer and hoping for the best. Ah, you have a fan, Liam. It's a good name, isn't it, Cece? Right, so just chopping these pieces off. Who else have we got here? We've got Joan. Thank you very much. Happy Canada Day to you too. There's fireworks tonight over at Calgary, but they're on at 11 and it's just too late for the little piggy. He will be a monkey. He won't get out of bed tomorrow if I take him. He won't take him out till 11 o'clock at night. Okay, ta-da! So, just chopping these back. It's not particularly exciting, I appreciate. But I think the impression that I got from the ladies that were at the scrapbook event I was at was that this is a super therapeutic method of crafting. I think we're not going to put the trimmer far away. I think the trimmer is going to be required. So I'm going to dry fit this in. So I'm going to have my bees at the bottom, like here, and then I'm going to have the gingham above. So you need quite a big space to do this. You want to have elbow room to spread out because the pages are all big. So Jana says little piggy always makes me giggle. There's going to come a time he's not going to let me call him that. But at the moment he still does. I'm not allowed to say it in front of any of his friends, but I think he enjoys having his personal little piggy nickname. Okay, so these are the cards that I'm just going to sort of dry fit this to see how happy I am with it. So this is the idea, like that, and then on here we have these two pennants, and as you can see they are what's cut away from here. So but before I do that, I am just going to lay in some of the pieces. So we have the honeycomb, the honey pot, then we have the bee with the flower, and then these three are on the other page, and we have the journaling tabs. My handwriting, Liam would argue, is terrible. I don't think it's that bad, I can read it. 2, 3, 4, and these strips are great. I actually hang on to these for sentiments. They actually saved us last week in the live, having these little strips. So this is the first, this is actually the second page, but I'm laying this one out first because there's going to be a little bit of snipperoo on this one. So I think it looks really cute, and it's the reason that we included the peel-offs, because you can run them along the borders of the pictures, along the edges of the bands across the middle to make them pop, to give them some life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sticking. And if you're a scrapbooker and I'm really butchering the process or the method, I do apologise. But I am just playing. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. Okay, so I'm going to stick down my two borders first. I think that's first things first. And to do that, I am going to use a tape runner. I would like to use a tape runner. Yes, I am going to be able to use a tape runner. Okay. I think this one's on its last legs. Used and abused. What is your favourite type of adhesive, everyone? Because I like tape runner because it's immediate. I find it faster than having to fuss with the back of double-sided tape. Wet glue is obviously fun because then you can play and move it around a little bit if you get it a little bit skew-if, but if not, then it's it can leave a little bit of a worm. You can get glue worms, can't you? Right, I've lined this up with the bottom of my mat, and then I'm going to use the lines. You can't see this one because my head's in the way, so I will shimmy, do a little shimmy, get you in the right spot. So I'm lining that up, and then I'm going to use that 1/2 inch on this side, hold it with my finger here in the right spot, and then carefully place the other using that line, and now I'm going to encourage that flat. Okay, no advice from me, says Jana. Scrapbooking is a real estate to fill up and stick to cards. I like cards, just Just had 3 tape runners deposited on the desk there in case that one dies. His little magic hands. Right, and now I'm going to leave a gap of another 1/2 inch because I can. And that's, so as I say, if you look here, this top line is lined up there on both sides. And now I'm going to use this thick chunky line on my mat. Put my finger on the corner when it's in the right spot. Guide it across. There we go. Now they're in. I'm going to use the medium size peel off along these. ATG, you know, I really like my ATG gun. The reason I don't use it when I'm doing a live video is because it's so big. The camera then jumps in and focuses up here, and so the camera is always having to, yeah, jump around a lot. Now, if you want to be frugal with your peel-offs, I would suggest laying your photographs back on top and seeing where the chunks are that you don't need to run them. It's up to you. It's your train set at this point. Oh, I didn't stick that very straight, did I? So yeah, it's a bit of a frustration when I do that, especially when people can see, so I'll correct it. Now, what we do is we'll get that straight, and then we'll butt this one right up to it, holding it like this, so that you've got maybe 1 inch beyond your finger, and then you've got so much control over that end that I then make sure they're touching, put my finger on top of it, and then take that all the way out. Stick it down. And then little non-stick scissors. This piece is not to be wasted. And I'm just going to keep going. Now I use the middle one on this bottom B paper. I will use the skinny, I think, on the top one just to create a little bit of difference. But just putting these peel-offs along the edge, it stops the page from getting bulky by matting and layering it all. But it just pops the different designs away from one another. There we go. Oh, it landed the right way up. That bit I'm not going to save. Because, here we go. Oh, we got Barb from Edmonton. Hello, love. Use the tape runners when I go to class or scrap gathering, the ATG. Yeah, I think there is 100 different glues, isn't there? There's so many options available, and different glues are better for different things. But when I'm doing a video, I find because of the speed, a tape runner, as long as it works, which is not guaranteed with me, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should invent or design our own tape runner that doesn't jam and doesn't run out. That's what you want, isn't it? A never-ending tape runner. Because I think that's why so many people get frustrated with them, is that they jam up or run out halfway through a project when it feels like you've only done a very small amount with it. So maybe we need to invent the longest tape runner in history. Maybe that should be our next endeavour. Okay. Nearly there. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to use the white pieces on my page because I'm quite happy with the camera's making it look like there's a gap there, but there's not. It's just the way the light's hitting it. That's fine. There's there's a photo that goes over that anyway. Okay. So there we go. I'm really pleased with that. Doesn't take much for me to feel accomplished. Okay. So now, if we follow the instructions, I need 3 photographs. I need an upright and 2 sideways. So these are the pictures that I've picked. I've got my little man, this was the magician, the cupcakes, the group shot. Okay. So let's use these on this side. So just so you can see what I'm working from. Let's encourage that back in a bit. There we go. So it really was such a lovely day. Like, so this is a really nice thing to scrapbook, I suppose, because you sort of relive what you were doing in the pictures. So there we go, 3 photographs on there. As I say, if I wanted to trim the photographs down a little bit and give them a white matte to uniform them all a little bit, I can. I could also go around them with the peel-offs to tie them in that way. In fact, you know what? I will use the white. I put them in the kit for a reason, so let's do that. Let's follow the instructions as per. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off a small slice off of the top and off of the bottom of the photographs. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so trimmer in. So they are 4 by 6 inch, these pictures. So if I take them down just by a 1/4 inch on either side at the top, okay, Liam's just made a lovely suggestion. He's going for the creative director job, I think, about just chopping off the corners. If I chopped all the corners off, it would look like they were being held in, which is a, you know, pretty good idea for a boy. I'll pay for that later, that comment. I don't get away with those very often. I think if take that off. I think that's a really nice idea, and I have historically included photo corners in the card kits, so I'm going to take it off of this side, keep them all in the middle. You can of course just take a portion off of one end or the other, either end, sorry, and I'm just doing it for sake of speed. I'm just chopping off of one end so that we can then centralise them on the white. Okay, so let's mount these up onto some card. So I've picked up 3 of them. Because I only printed those this morning, I'm going to put the adhesive straight on here rather than turning them over and trying to drag a reluctant tape runner over them. Very reluctant tape runner. Okay, so to position these in, lining up the top corners, and I do this by eye. I'm sure there are ways that are considered more straightforward. Trying not to use my fingerprints. There we go. So Turn it upside down. Hello, Sarah. Yeah, it's okay. You're not late. I'm slow anyway, so we're all good here. I've just trimmed down my pictures, and I'm sticking them onto the white panels that we included in the kit, just to frame the photographs. And the thing, what you could also do, which would be super cool, is the stamp set that comes in the kit. Have I got it handy? Excuse me one moment. Wasn't quite handy, but this stamp, I absolutely love it when it's stamped off the edge like this. So whilst these are just solid white, you could use like a really pale yellow ink and stamp that, or you could heat emboss it. Or there's so many options, so many ideas. I really need to not get into scrapbooking. We'll need to build another room on the house. Okay, so there we go. Those three are now mounted up. We have the upright picture, and then the nice thing about having the white border is it ties the ephemera in really, really well, because the ephemera has got, let me just show you a piece of it. You can see it has got the white border to it, so it will help that stay in. Making the most of the camera turning off and grabbing a mouthful of coffee. So, okay. The journaling, I'm not going to write the journaling now, because under pressure my handwriting will probably go to pot. I'm sure Liam will agree. But what I will do is, I'm not going to put any adhesive under here on this side, because I know that these I will write better without the ridges underneath of the paper. So I will write those, and what we'll do is I'll share some pictures and I'll send it out in our newsletter once I've journaled it. So this one I'm going to stick down, but as I say, I'm not putting any adhesive here. I'm giving up with that one, it's driving me up the wall. No adhesive here, so that I can tuck those other pieces under, and then I'll just poke the nozzle of a wet glue underneath it. So I think about here, I'm lining it up at the bottom there. She says, changes her mind. Of course, these tape runners are the permanent ones. There we go. And then this one. Let's have a look. We'll pop that one here, and I'm lining that up along this edge, making sure it's straight at the top. And then this one, I'm going to give sort of like an equidistance, but that similar to this here. There we go. Ta-da! I feel very accomplished. This little bee is here. And now we're going to get into the bunting, because as I say, I've saved my journaling pieces, which will now really nicely tuck in, and then I can stick. Oh, we've got Pam. Are these scrap kits something we plan to continue every month? Well, they've been very, very well received this month, so maybe. It was also one of our lovelies, Cecilia, was telling me that she's actually bought every kit we've ever released, every single one, which is bonkers. and she was telling me how she's got this, like, it's almost like, you know, the old-fashioned, is it a Rolodex, where you would keep all business cards and things, and she's created a page in this Rolodex for each kit that she's bought so that she can remember which one's which is such a cool idea. And it could be similar with a scrapbook, couldn't it? Like, and I mean, it's something that we absolutely would consider if everybody wanted them. Yes, by all means. But it's a yeah, I enjoy putting it together. This is without a doubt fun. But any excuse to paper craft, and it gives everybody just that little bit extra to craft with, doesn't it? Because some people really enjoy making really big cards, and the size of these bees compared to the size of the bees that, or the ephemera pieces that come in the kit, that, you know, there's a big difference, because scrapbooking is done on a larger scale. But it does mean that if you buy the kit and you are a scrapbooker, you do have the option to interchange all of those pieces between your two kits. So, and the thing is as well, of course, if people want them, we can do more than one each month to make it all coordinate. So now this, oh, excuse me, reaching. This is our second page. Remember, we've got the honeycomb in the top corner. And it's similar to the last in that it's going to look like this. Let me show you. And now what we're going to have is two upright pieces. So we're going to have two upright photographs, and then we're going to have one landscape. And so the best way to work out how big our fishtails are going to be able to create the bunting for the first page, is to do a sort of dry fit here. Now, I think that looks really nice, and this is where I'm going to put this upside down now. Don't panic, so that I can draw on it. Now I've done that, flipped that one, I'll flip this one. There we go. I'm not too worried about how high or low they are, it's just so that I've got the idea of where the spacing is. Now I'm going to grab my pencil. We did consider printing this on the back, but we also thought it was nice to do this as we went along. So I grab my ruler. This is a T-square ruler, so you know that you've got it in the right spot. Now, this has both centimetres and inches, and it's got a whole load of numbers there. I'm terrible with inches. I try really hard, but I can hear my brain fizzing. Charming. Okay, so when you're making a pennant or a fishtail, what you want to do is put a dot in the middle. So this, really helpfully, the way I've trimmed it, is 9.4 centimetres. So that's 4.5 plus 2. I don't know what that is in inches. I will measure it and tell you. But it's also the way that I've trimmed it. So in inches, that is 1 inch and 13/16. It's a clever ruler. I would never have got that. Okay, so now that I know that that's where I want my dots to be, I then, using the ruler, move across a little bit and decide how angled I want my fishtail to be. And I want to keep it relatively shallow. So I'm going to put a dot here and a dot here. So it's not that acute. And now, with a regular ruler, or just turning this ruler over, I can join these, and that makes the fishtail. You certainly don't have to do it at all, especially if you've got the kit as well. You have oodles of ephemera, It was just that this was the layout pattern that we thought would look really good for this particular kit. So now I've just got these little scissors here. Using big scissors for these sort of cuts is probably a better idea, so do as I say, not as I do, unless you're super confident or not worried, because each time you have to open and close the scissors, it just increases that risk that it's not going to be a straight cut. Okay, so now we have the pennant for that, and we have our fishtail for this, and I'm going to do the same with the top one. Which I am, in fact, going to really cheat now. And I'm just going to line it up in the middle. There we go. And I want this one to be ever so slightly shorter. So I'm going to put my dot there. And I'm going to put that one there, and then I'll measure it up with a ruler. I hope people don't mind my cheating doing things like this. But I am without a doubt a by eye crafter. Let's try and clear the decks a bit so that you're not overwhelmed with all of the different things that we've got going on here. So, ruler. We'll drop that there. We'll pop this here. As I say, this is the first time I'm doing this. I've designed it on the computer, but it's very different to actually putting them all together. And I really, really hope that everyone shares what they make and all their lovely designs, because that is one of the best bits about making. So there you go. I've now got the two fishtails, and there is zero waste here because I can now return to, ta-da! And as you can see, I can do this. Now in the design, this one is ever so slightly over the top and it's shorter. So you can do it like that, but if you wanted, you could make it longer, because you've got that little bit of extra, because I wanted to have the other side shorter. Does that make sense? I hope so. But I'm going to follow how we have it on the instructions here, and that is with the wider one being the longer. And then, shorter one. I'm not going to do that over the photographs, that's asking for trouble. Going to have it slightly shorter, and over the top, and then, as you do in card making, flip it over. I am going to get the big scissors for this, because being a lefty, my hand is always in the way when I do this, which is very frustrating. In fact, so much so that it makes me want to be right-handed, but not when I'm live. It's easier on a card base than with this, because there is so much paper that gets in the way. Okay, I'll keep that because I keep everything. Here we go. So we now have our, and these are definitely going to have some peel offs on, so I'm going to use the widest one here now, just to quickly run around those edges. But I'm using the widest one just to really give it some pop. Try not to stick the peel off to the photograph. That's never ideal. Okay, that's the first one done. Now to the smaller one, so I'm going to use a mid-size peel off on that one, just to mix it up a little bit. Let's start at this side. If you're worried about doing what I just did and sticking the peel off to your photograph, stick it loosely to your hand, wrap it round, and then it won't go anywhere. I'm not used to working on such a big canvas that I have to worry about what's going to get stuck at the other end. It's usually just my desk. So, one. Thank you. Two. So how many people here have actually scrapbooked before? What is this something new that you're giving a go to, or is this, that one jumped as I stuck it? Is this something brand new for you guys, or are you all veterans and watching me and giggling thinking she's messing that up, she's done that in the wrong order? Where are we all at with this? Okay, that's better. Now you up here. Ta-da! Don't waste that bit, that goes back. Okay, ruler all the way, says Sarah. Ellen likes to make creative mistakes. I think, wait, what are they called? Happy accidents. Okay, I'm very nearly there, so I'm going to pop my honey pot here. Didn't need to go to all that effort with all the peel-offs in the middle, but there we go. I really want, the card maker in me wants to put this on foam, but I know that it's going to go in an album, so I'm going to behave myself. And I think I will make the effort to create one of these every month, because it's actually loads of fun. There we go, sticking down. So now, aside from obviously the journaling notes, that is the layout page completed. I did, of course, include these. Look into 12-inch peel-offs. Ooh, Liam's having ideas now. I'm not even involved. So, the joy of these. Pick them off, stick them down. Oh, okay, Ashlyn, Liam did just clear his throat and point to give you credit where credit is due. Definitely worth looking into. But now I'm just going to decorate a few, because it was such a lovely day. And you can never have too many hearts, I don't think. So these are just getting plonked around. This is the biggest. And then I'm going to move to the next size, which is the medium. There's no real rhyme or reason with this. I do like to work in the rule of 3, which is, and you can stick these straight onto the cards, onto the photographs. I'm not going to, but it is possible. And now I'm going to go into the dinky tiny weeny ones, which of all of them are my favourite. I love the tiny little hearts. And for scrapbooking, these are ideal simply because they have got no dimension to them. So, you know, like a sequin, you've got the cup, haven't you? Or even if you don't, they are still quite bulbous. Let's flip this upside down and use some on this way. It took a very long time for me to learn to be able to stick things randomly, and it's because the type 1 personality in me wants everything to be regular. So, as I say, I promise I will do the journaling, and where I didn't stick this down too hard, I can add that all in. it will look like this. And again, you can fishtail the ends of these. That's how it's shown, because you've got the fishtail on the other side and the pennants there. It ties that in and it makes the eye very happy. But let's just pretend that I've written on that and that they're all stuck and that they're straight as well, because obviously I haven't put them in straight. But there we go. I did a scrapbook page. My first ever one. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm going to do the other one now. But here we go. So this is the second page. Honeycomb in the top corner. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gosh. So Jana says she's scrapbooked. It was the gateway drug to card making. Brilliant. Cece's never scrapbooked. Are you interested in trying, Cece? That's the question. Doris, I started with scrapbooking then went to cards. I still do both. Sarah has never scrapbooked. Nedra scrapbooked my youngest child. Oh, lovely. Pam has just sent a message. Oh, I look forward to reading that, Pam. Thank you. Sarah says it looks great. Thank you. Jenna, I need all of the peel-offs, all of them. Honestly, you talk about gateway drugs. These are peel-offs. They are, once you start, you're done for. Nedra, peel-offs would have been fun to have when I scrapbooked. Oh, so you don't scrapbook anymore, Nedra? You're not, is it that you did your child and then thought, no, I've done what's necessary and I'm moving on with my life? Or structured randomness, yeah, it's what it is. Ellen, using them all the time on my cards and now on my pages. It looks amazing. Oh, thank you everyone. You've all been really, really sweet. Right, I've just been told I've been 45 minutes doing one page. This one should be much quicker because I know what I'm doing now. I'm a pro. I've completed one. So this is the layout. And again, I left quite a big open space here. We do sell alphabet stickers and thickers. So if you want to title your page, you know, like I could put Carol's wedding here, or Carol Gary, because he was quite important on the day as well. But some people I know like to title their pages. So there is a space in this top corner to handwrite or to use alphabet stickers or anything like that to create these lovely titles. I'm not going to do that today because I didn't include it in the kit because I didn't know which way to go. Didn't know if I should use black or gold, or I'm just going to start assembling because otherwise I'll get told off for taking too long. I did really well last week. I don't know if any of you managed to join me, but Liam and I had a little bit of a challenge. He said that I couldn't make just one card and get on with it, so I did, and we did really well. I mean, I still managed to be a bit of a chatterbox, but we got the card made. So all go away, don't stick there, thank you. Okay. Oh my gosh, it is so warm in here. It feels like there is either snow or heat wave where we live currently. Is it warm where you are? Or am I on my own with this? Now, I can't run this the whole way along. So there's obviously lots of options. You can use a long T-square ruler, line it up there, hook it over the paper on the edge, and then you've got a line to butt up against. You can make sure that this line is straight on this edge and then follow the line out. There's lots of different ways. You could even use a pencil, create a guideline. I am going to line it up very carefully on my mat, make sure the paper is straight, line this edge up, make sure that is straight, and then hope for the best ultimately, which is, if it's perfect, it doesn't look handmade, does it? I run with that. Okay, so there's that one. Let's pop some tape on the back of this. Ooh, that was close, very near the edge. Gonna do the same again. I don't know if you noticed, but with how I lined that up, I'm not putting adhesive all the way to the very edge. This is a permanent tape runner. Let me put you on the close-up camera. This is a permanent tape runner, but as you can see, there is perhaps 1/4 of an inch where it's not shiny. I'm hoping you can see that. And that is how, when I'm lining this up on the edge, I'm using that piece that hasn't got any adhesive to sort of skid around a little bit until I find this straight line and it's on the corner of that, and then as I say, I press down and hope for the best, and that looks pretty straight. I think I got away with it. So peel offs, the bottom banner I use the middle size, so let's get a middle. There we go. I'm going to go straight along that bottom edge. Ooh, don't wiggle up there, thank you. There we go. I'm going to use this bit that was a leftover from last time, because I don't like to leave bits, and it's all there to be used. And now I get to cut off the tiniest piece, which I have no guilt or shame in putting in the bin. And it keeps this nice and tidy as well. So I'm going to do the same on the top. And as I did say before, you can lay your photographs on top to be more frugal with the peel-offs, and then only put them where they're going to be seen. It might take a little bit longer, but it means that your peel-offs will go a little bit further. To be fair, as you can see, you get the whole sheet in the kit, and I've bordered a lot. There's still tons left. So this is also a stash builder. Okay, so up to the corner. Goodness, can't stick straight these days. There we go, up to the corner, stick that on there, trim it in, and now I'm going to do the insides of the pendants. Pendant. Not pennants, that's something completely different, isn't it? I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. And what I'm doing is with this as well, it's entirely up to you, but I'm butting it up to the edge. That does make it easier. As long as you've got a nice straight edge, you can sort of tuck it in and it will stick on that bottom piece of paper along that edge, and it is almost like a cheat guide. If you've cut something a bit wonky or you've stuck it a bit wonky, then you can stick the peel off wonky, and it's a real saving grace. Right, and then I used the skinniest one. Yes, I used the skinniest one for the gingham pattern. Quickly pop those in. Oh dear. Let go of that one a little bit prematurely, but I didn't press it, thankfully. So I'm just using my finger now to guide it in to where it goes. Out you come, thank you very much. There we go. There we go. And another one. Oh gosh, very, very warm in here under these lights as well. It is, we are cooking. I dread to think how warm it is. Sure, Liam's got a gadget somewhere that will tell us how hot it is, but won't make any difference knowing, will it? It's just, I suppose you can feel more sorry for yourself. Okay. I'm sorry for all of you veterans that have been using peel-offs for years, watching me do this. I hope it's not too boring. But I think it makes such a difference. It really does help make the scrapbook pop. And I love black and yellow. It was one of the reasons that bees are so high up in my regard. Okay, so tucking it in along the edge. These scissors are great. If you've got scissors that have got tiny weeny little points on the ends, then you can really get them in and stick them in the right, get the peel off snipped exactly where you wanted it to be. Okay. Very nearly there, last little bit. Okay. There we go. So we have now, and as it should be, there is only a scrap of each of the 3 widths. I feel very, very tidy when that happens. Okay. So we have this, and now we're going to lay in what will be our photographs. Something like that, I think, will look good. Yes, so now I'm going to trim my actual photographs. I'm going to do, as I did on the other one, I'm going to take off 1/4 of an inch off of the top and off of one of the sides. So this is 6, so I'm taking it down to 5 3/4. And then this was 4, so I'm going to take it into being 3 3/4. 1. Oh, I don't know which end to take off of here. I'll take the flowers off. And 5 3/4. Okay. Now, where Gary is so tall, we'll have to chop from the bottom, otherwise he'll lose his head, and that wouldn't be very nice. And then we will take the chair out on that side a little bit. There we go. So I've now trimmed those pictures down. I'm going to stick these down onto so these are the cupcakes that I decorated for their wedding, which that was really fun because they got married in September, so it was really, really hot then as well, and working with buttercream is not fun. I did not enjoy the process of trying to pipe in the heat. Does anybody else do like cake decorating or cupcakes at all? Because it would, I mean, I do enjoy decorating. That is without a doubt the case. But when people are relying on it, it changes it, doesn't it? It's a bit like when I've done wedding invitations for people before. I've always felt a little bit of pressure. Okay, so we have our photographs. So we have the lovely group shot. And then we have the cupcakes and the magician with the kids. Oh, that peel off's gone for a walk. I didn't press that down properly. There we go. Now, something like this. I think. Maybe down a little. Yeah. So just to give you an idea, this is how the layout is done. And it is all to ratio, that was all to size. Same here, south of Calgary is a high of 28 later running. Yes, Ellen, I mean, we had quite a fair bit of rain last weekend, but you wouldn't know it, would you? It was like biblical, the rain we had last week. We were caught in a bit of a hailstorm in the town south of us called Okotoks. Was that a couple of days ago? And that was yeah, that was we were out in the truck. Mary, I've used those cut-off strips to make a background of stripes. That's a really good idea, Mary. And also, you know how people sometimes use up all their scraps and they just stick them down. If you use peel-offs in between them all, it looks like it was cohesive, and it's a great way to use up scraps. Peel-offs make everything match. Sarah does moulded chocolates. Oh wow. What, like the little round ones? I've been trying to talk Liam into letting me get they're like bonbons, I think they're called. But okay, I'm just going to concentrate for a minute and line this up, because otherwise we'll be wonky. And there we go. Right. Okay. Oh, it was such a lovely day. We did have a really nice time. So now I'm going to grab my ephemera pieces for this page. So I have a tiny little honey pot there. I have the bee on the honeycomb here. And I have a bumblebee here. So, do I want lower, higher? Yeah. Oh, I'm so pleased. Okay. So, that was the wrong one. They all look the same. I should probably throw it across the room, shouldn't I? My little honey pot. Go here. Ooh. Okay. And then the bumblebee. Okay, so everybody, well, you know what would look really pretty? I decided not to, these are some of the dies. I shouldn't have things like this on my desk. But they would look so pretty, just chopped in on the corners, wouldn't they? Like over the top. Anyhow, I'm going to behave. So, we have now completed together. Oh no, we haven't. We need peel-offs. Oh, sacrilege. Okay. Okay, mouthful of coffee. And now I am with organised randomness popping some more hearts. I try to twist them as well so that they're not all in the same orientation. If they're close to the edge, I try not to twist them out. I try to make it look like almost like there's a central spray that comes up and out. This one is an exception, but having the odd exception is really pleasing to the eye. So this is the fun bit. I try not to put anything too central. So if this had been a little bit further up in the middle of that gap, it wouldn't have, it would have irritated the eye, as it were. You want them to be a little bit off centre. Now what I've done accidentally is create 3 lines there. So I'm going to have to fix that with the little ones. And pull the eye down and across with some down here. Just to try and balance it up again. So, let's get a little bit of OCD, as you can tell, when it comes to picking off the peel off, so I have to have it the right way up. I like them to all be in a line. There we go. That now looks a little bit more, instead of like 3 jumpy lines. So we've got that bit dealt with. Let's pop some up here. Oh, press it down. And that's not going to stay stuck like that, is it? I mean, it may do, but let's not run the risk. Okay. Here we go. I mean, I can keep sticking little mini hearts everywhere. I love them. But, okay. So let's say then, excuse the fact that these aren't stuck or written on, but I will share a picture when they're done. But there, because I did them a ½ inch from the bottom and then ½ inch in between, it almost, when that's in an album, it will look like one big spread. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me to make these. There's not many crafts that I get to say are first still, so this is brilliant. I've really enjoyed this. I hope everybody's liked and enjoyed the process and my haphazardness. But of course, one of the lovely things is, even having completed that, still got peel-offs left. So your whole kit's used. You don't feel like you've got scraps that you've got to try and house and find homes for, which is lovely. They're completed, they're done, and you've got bonus takeaway things to put into your stash, which can be used on everything. So that is our scrap kit for this month. I really hope you've enjoyed it. It sounds like the people that have participated have liked it, which is great. Thank you very much for joining us. What have we got coming up? We have got another live next Tuesday. We are shipping all week this week. We will be sending out the Be Happy kits, the Be Happy scrap kits, the Full of Woe kits, which I'm so excited about. I'm quite nervous as well because, as I say, it's been the last time I did a class, it was in person and it was pre-COVID, so it was a long time ago. But I am really excited about this. Wednesday is like my spirit animal. She's so funny. It's, yeah, I really excited to do that class. We've got more short videos coming up with the bees, and we are going to be introducing a new video once a month, which is called the Inspiration Station, but you'll find out more about that when I share it, so that will be really good fun. Yes, I think that is probably about it for us. You'll be receiving tracking just as soon as we've got it. We send it out all via our website, so keep your eyes peeled for that, for your kit to arrive, which will be lovely. If you do get the scrap kit, as always, exactly the same with the cards, but please make it and share pictures of it with us on in the Facebook group, because I absolutely love it when I see people making. It tells me that they're off doing something that makes them happy, and that really makes me happy. So thank you ever so much for all of your efforts, and for sticking with me until this time as well. And until next time, make something beautiful. Bye everyone.